Imagine you pull up to one of your rental properties, it's supposed to be vacant. You go to the door, you go to put your key in the slot, and it doesn't go in. You're like, what the heck? You walk around the property, maybe you have the wrong key, you look inside the window, and you're seeing furniture in there. Now you're getting nervous. What's going on? This is my vacant property. You actually revert to knocking on the door. And when you knock on the door, someone actually opens it up, and it's someone you've never seen before. You say, hey, this is my house. And the guy goes, no, this is my place. I lease it. At this point, you're almost furious. You're scared. You're not sure what to do. You don't even know who to call at this point. Do I call my attorney? Do I call the police? Where's this going? Is this the actual horror story you've been hearing on the internet for years about squatters taking over your property? What a horrible scenario to be in. And before I tell you the ending of this story, I want you to take control of your future and click the link below for our free rental analysis where you can make sure you're setting the right rent for your property. Today we're talking about squatters. And within the old rules, you were really stuck as a landlord. You would call the police, they would show up, they tell you this domestic dispute or a civil matter, and you would be forced to make that second call to your attorney and hear the horrible news. Your attorney at that point was going to tell you that you're going to have to post some sort of notice and take this to eviction court if they're not going to leave on their own. Now, taking them to court or having to file for eviction, that could take months. You're going to hemorrhage money between not collecting your rent, plus all the chaos they'll create within the neighborhood of just knowing that there's a squatter living in this particular house. The unfortunate part is, as painful as the situation is, it's even worse for some landlords that has pushed them all the way to the edge, and they get out of real estate investing altogether after going through a situation like this. Now, what actually is a squatter? A squatter is somebody that occupies a property that doesn't have a legal lease document signed between the owner and the tenant, and someone that has moved in there without permission. Now, people often ask me, what's the difference between trespassing and a squatter? And the law and how it's written is pretty clear. Trespassing is somebody that breaks into the property, uses excessive force. Maybe they go through a window, maybe they break a lock. But a squatter is someone that actually doesn't show signs of breaking in, moves into a property, they get access one way or another, and actually sets up shop. They move in, they have furniture, they put ComEd Electric in their name, they put a TV on the wall. And at that point, that leaves you as a landlord stuck in a situation where if you go change ComEd back to your name, or you go change the locks back to your key code, now you're actually the one breaking the law. All right, so what's the fix for landlords? For a while there, we thought this was hopeless, but January 1st, 2026 came out the Illinois Senate Bill 1563. What this bill does is it clarifies the difference between somebody lawfully holding possession of a property and what civil trespassing really is. So going forward, you actually have rights. And what you could do is call the police, show you have ownership of the property one way or another, there's multiple ways here, and be able to regain possession of your property. Investors really didn't have many options short of going through the court system, which could take up to, man, I've seen situations go as long as a year. It really just kind of boils down to the law helping the process be that much more efficient. We're talking about getting people out of it faster, regaining control of your property, getting the place back on the market, and renting to a legitimate renter that is actually paying you and not going to screw up the entire neighborhood. All right, so if you're watching this, you might have a squatter situation. What should you do first? First, I want to make sure you document everything. From the second you feel something is gone wrong or you feel someone is potentially in your property, record everything, write down everything, and control all the details. Secondly, make sure you're getting the police involved. Call them up, make sure that you are following all the right process of them. And when they show up to your house, be prepared to have a actual legal record of your ownership. That might even be as much as you go to the recorder of deeds for your county and showing you actually have title to this property and you are the owner. Thirdly, I'd always still call your attorney and just make sure they understand what's going on and they could advise you from just protecting your rights, because they might have to step in for a specific notice or help you draft something to post on the door. And finally, make sure you're partnering up with the right team. It's always about who's on your side, who, not how. And I mentioned an attorney here a couple seconds ago, but whether it be the right real estate team, the right property manager, make sure that you have the right people on your team so you are not alone when something goes wrong like this. If you watched our videos before, you've heard me talk about real estate investing being a team sport. And it's all about not going about this alone and having the right people in your corner. So if you want to reach out, you want to talk to us, you could click the link below and schedule a call. Otherwise, please make sure you subscribe, because we'll have more awesome information around real estate investing here in the Chicago market in the future. See you next time.